My name's Mel McDonald. I'm former New South Wales police officer. The reason why I joined the New South Wales Police, I was watching a television show when I was about 5 called Waterloo Station back in the 80s, and there was a female police officer and I thought, oh, this looks cool. All the other kids at school want to be hairdressers, air hostess, stuff like that. And I just thought, no, I want action. I don't want to be doing something boring like that. And that's how I sort of got the idea to do it, and it just stuck in my head for years. Did a few other things, but then ended up eventually joining. I did enjoy the job. Every 3 years or so I'd get the, I hate this job, I'm leaving, I've had enough. Go on holidays, chill out for a couple of weeks, and I'd be so bored I wanted to go back because I love adrenaline, I love action, love being in the thick of it. Even as a sergeant, I'd be in there at jobs, getting into stuff. That's probably how I ended up with my injuries, sort of jumping into stuff. I sustained a couple of injuries at work. In the first couple of years I had a neck injury. I thought it'd go away. Every couple of years it'd flare up again. I'd have to work in the station, then I'd pretend I was all right so I could get back out there. I think, no, I'll be good. I'll just get back out there. Didn't do anything about it. Then it got to the stage I had to get surgery on my neck and my arm because I left the injuries that I did have for so long because I thought, no, I can get through them. I'll just keep going and see what happens. They'll just disappear if I don't think about them. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I couldn't use my firearm because I've got no strength in my fingers. So you do a strength test when you go to the academy, I think it's about 30 or 40. My right hand's about 2 and my left's about 16. So yeah, I don't have much strength in my right hand. It was basically my decision to leave because if I wasn't operational, I didn't want to be there at all. And I think I had to finally come to the realisation the injuries aren't going to disappear, it's going to take a lot of recovery time. And at that point, I really couldn't work with the pain and issues that I was having. I wasn't really that worried about it. I was just worried how I was going to live and get another job. Actually, cutting ties with the police wasn't my concern, really. So the transition from being a police officer just to being Mel is a bit of a strange one. When I'm awake, it doesn't bother me, but when I'm asleep, I dream I'm there all the time. And then I wake up and go, thank God I'm not. Because as I said, I got to that stage and everyone I see, oh, you're still in the cops, you're still in the police, not hi, how you going? So you still have that attached. And everywhere I go, I'm hyper vigilant. I'm always on the lookout what's going on, especially some of the places I go for work. There's a few suspicious sort of people hanging around and I'm onto it straight away. You never lose it. It's just one of those things that you keep in you. You try not to, but I still have my connection through Police Legacy. So I feel it's a good medium. I'm not there all the time, but I can still have a connection and meet up with friends occasionally. And so I've still got that connection there. The most frustrating thing I had with the transition was having the 2 claims, one with EML and one with TAL. I didn't understand there is confidentiality and they can't sort of just exchange information freely. And the frustrating thing was just having to repeat things a little bit. But in the end, things have worked out all right because I no longer have any claims and they worked out all right in the end. It just took a little bit of time with the communication, but everything's all right now. I was waiting to get a payout from TAL, so that was a long process, a lot of independent doctors, things like that. So at that stage I was receiving payment from EML at first and then TAL, but that took a little while to come through. So I had to manage my finances and be careful in what I was spending, and I've realised I wasn't getting $2,500 a fortnight. It was about $300 and something a week, so making sure I managed my finances properly until I got my actual payout that was coming through. So that took a little while and then communications with EML, I'm talking to some case managers, I'm saying, you're not living on the money, I'm living on a week, I'm not used to living on that. So it was a massive drop to go back to that amount that I was getting paid. When I left the police, I didn't have a resume, I didn't have a CV, I hadn't had a resume since 1998 when I joined the police. So I thought I'm going to have to take some proactive action and work out what I'm going to do. For me, when I was seeking work, the best thing for me was attending that WorkSafe Solutions program. It taught me how to do a LinkedIn profile, how to prepare my resume, how I should be talking, how I should be sitting, just a few different bits and pieces, and how the corporate world is a lot different to the police world. It's a little bit more relaxed in an interview as opposed to in a police interview, a lot more serious, and different employers are looking for different things, and just being open and honest in your interviews when you're attending your interviews. In my role as a mentor for Backup for Life with Police Legacy, I normally attend the WorkSafe Solutions workshops for the 4 days just to offer sort of emotional support, hanging in the background if people want to ask me what's going on, because I've been through the same thing. I can say, look, I've been through this process, this is how I dealt with it, what can I do to help you with it, and just have a look at their resumes and help out. And now I've also been helping out with the interviews, sitting in the interviews as well. So that's mainly what my role is with the police legacy. When I left the police, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do because I'd done it for so long. But then, of course, I've fallen into emergency management. That was what I started looking for because that was just something I had a good knowledge of, and I have a qualification in that, so I thought I'll go into the emergency management field. I really enjoy emergency management because I can still tell my war stories at my presentations. There is a little bit of action, and sometimes there has actually been emergencies occurring when I'm doing the training, which is good. And it's my style of training, it's really relaxed environment the way I'm doing it, so everyone's learning stuff and I'm learning stuff from them as well due to the different workplaces I go to every day. What I enjoy about my current job is I get to travel around Australia, I get to catch up with friends when I'm travelling, and I have flexible working hours, so I might only work a couple of days a week and I only work 4 to 6 hours a day, and I get to meet different people when I'm travelling. My current job role is an emergency management consultant, so I work as a sole contractor. I work for the same company, but I am free to do other work. So currently I attend shopping centres and facilitate to emergency management training to the centre management. So people from the centre management, operations management to cleaners, security guards, other people that might be there, admin staff as well, marketing. So basically all their centre management staff do things such as structural collapse scenarios, serious assaults, sexual assaults, all things that go on in shopping centres that most people don't know about. Just your general emergency management, chief warden training, stuff like that. I think what makes it a successful role for me is it's the knowledge I have of emergencies due to attending minor emergencies to major emergencies. So when I'm asked, oh, how would you know about that? How do you know that happens? Well, I've been there and it has happened and it could happen here. Because in policing we used to attend shopping centres all the time for different types of emergencies. So I feel I have the good background to back up the knowledge when I'm presenting the presentations. In my spare time I mainly go to the gym, go to yoga, do cycle class, do Pilates reformer, do stuff with the police legacy, and then my normal job, so that keeps me pretty busy with that combination, which I didn't think I'd be doing all this stuff, but it just seems all to be happening at once, and I like being busy because I don't like sitting around. That's the worst part of when you're going through the rehab and stuff, just sitting around at home all day thinking, what am I going to do all day? At least now I go to work, I come home, I'm tired, I get a proper sleep because I've been at work all day. So it's a lot better for your well-being and your health. The best tips I can suggest, and this is from the feedback I've got from the people in the course, is be open to criticism. There's no rank or anything like that. A lot of people are worried about that stuff. You're just you and you want to change your life. You want to take positive steps to do stuff. And probably seek advice. All the people we go to, people that give you advice, take the advice and take that advice on board in relation to what you need to be doing to do things better, and that there are services available to help you, like Backup for Life, like WorkSafe and other programs that EML run. So all they can do is they're more beneficial for you, better than sitting home and being proactive. Normally by the end of the course, people at the first day of course very nervous last day of the course, oh, I've done my resume, I've got my LinkedIn, I've teed up an interview, I've signed up on Seek. So being proactive, not waiting for stuff to come to you. There is services out there, ring up, ask people if they can help you. I get phone calls all the time just for little things. Oh, can you help me with my resume? Or you know that person at that place, can you ring them and sort of get me a foot in the door, and taking people's cards when you're meeting them and doing things like that as well. So I think that's my best advice. And realise that you're not useless. Police are people in the corporate world love police. We're organised, we know what we're doing, we can take instruction, we can give instruction, and we're not useless, and somebody can really benefit from our skills because you do have transferable skills.